99.3 Nigeria Info.
Yeah, morning everybody. Welcome to Daily Digest with Jimi Disu, and this is brought to you courtesy MTN. The station you're listening to, I'm sure you know, is Nigeria Info 99.3. And today is Friday. For some funny reason, I'm a bit more relaxed today. I think because my friend is here with me. We were Majekodumi, of Jazzville fame. But before I go on, I'd like to pay tribute to Brigadier General Mobolaji Johnson. It's a year today that he passed on to the great beyond. Where you are, yes. That was a governor. That when you talk about governors of Lagos, that was a governor.
An officer and a gentleman.
And a gentleman. That was people have ascribed those kind of things to themselves, and I just laugh because Lagos people know themselves. Let me have a bit of pride now. Our Lagos people, we know ourselves, and Mobolaji Johnson is one of our leaders that we're very, very proud of.
That's right.
Never got involved in any messy situation.
That's right.
As clean as a whistle. Officer and a gentleman. May his soul rest in peace.
Amen. Coincidentally, it's actually about a year. His niece died too, Diana Johnson.
Yes.
20
yes.
Well, yeah,
but the Johnsons are a noble family.
A noble family.
Yeah. They're known for that. These are the values. It's not about money. Look at Papa Johnson's house was in Yaba.
Yaba, yeah.
Who is there now?
It used to be the office for team management partners where Diana
and also there was a time Uncle Sumi Smakol was
he was living there.
He was living there.
And
how's Uncle Sumi? I must call him. I must call him sometime today.
Sumi, can you believe that Sumi? I remember I visited the house after Sumi had exited the house.
Yes.
Sumi left the house spick and span.
But you know Uncle Sumi
Spick
now.
and span.
But you couldn't ask for anything less. He'd be embarrassed if he heard you say this. He couldn't be anything less.
No,
I remember the days of Uncle Sumi's barbing salon.
At,
people at Sabo next door to Ben Bruce's dad.
That's right.
We had
Domino's.
Ben Bruce started work at the age of like 30. He worked in his father's. Their dad. Those days you had very strict parents. Very, very strict parents, and their dad was very strict. He lined all of them up to work in the supermarket. That's why when you go to buy sausages and eggs, those days in Domino,
we had
on Saturday
then.
We had values. I
I
remember Domino's. I remember that small shop in front of it, Esquire.
Yeah.
Taking my mind back now.
Oh, and then Idowu on the left.
Idowu the tailor.
Idowu the tailor. Yes.
With his Oyinbo wife in the neighborhood.
Yes. You're taking me.
Okay, before I say that, also I have somebody who's been following my program from day one, Mrs. Nneji Ugbo. Today is her birthday. Now I put her under a lot of pressure to try and ask her, how old are you, madam, today? She refused.
Never asked a lady her age.
But I remember when she turned 50. When you get to the landmark one, everybody buckles in. So, but I know she's somewhere in her 50s. So happy birthday, Mrs. Ugbo, Nneji Ugbo. Happy birthday to you. Okay, today we'll just take it. We've had last week was full of turbulence. This week I tried to cool tensions, by talking to, especially to the young people, about how they need to be careful. One guy went on a looting spree and took a selfie with it, and it found its way to the social media. Just this morning, I don't watch these videos, but somebody brought my attention to it and forced me to watch it. Some guys went to raid the NDLEA office, apparently. I don't know whether it's Abuja or Lagos, I don't know. But ended up in the exhibit room. The guy was carrying a whole sack. Oh. When I first of all saw I thought it was a bag of rice. There were others taken in the background. I told the guys who were running the commentary, I said, Igbo whole sack. I said,
there must be a demand for it somewhere.
Anikulapo is there. Also to my condolence goes to the Kuyoro family. Mrs. Onirere is a year today that she passed away. I think I'll be doing we need to put a bit more life into the things that we do. Yes, what I want to, moving on with the program, let's talk more about life. It's too sad talking about
There's too
the
much
situation.
tension.
It's too much tension.
And you know that
And hunger.
This year, 2020, has been the most divisive year.
Yes.
We're so divided. We're divided on religion, politics, so divided.
Well, you have the politicians to thank for that mainly, and bad governance, if you ask me.
It's not just Nigeria. It's all over.
All over the
world.
Yes. The world is not the world we were born into.
No.
You know, we were born in the 50s, and we went to university in the 70s.
That's right.
There was you remember, was it Ali Mosgo?
Ali Mongo.
Yesterday it was reported. It was reported, for example, that one students' union leader went to collected money from the Oyo State governor. That the Oyo State governor gave some NSAS protesters 15 million. It was reported in the papers yesterday. And the part of the story that caught my eye is the students' union leader, who it was said. And I said to myself, can you imagine Okewo going to collect, or Olori Magege? I see you giving black person.
Yeah.
Can you imagine any one of them going to sit with the governor? Who is the is it Mobaladi Johnson that will give you money? That shows you how far down we have gone.
It's unfortunate.
How would a governor like Mobaladi Johnson now call and say, please give him a bag of money?
A bag of money, yes, or a car or something.
A car,
or something, yeah. We've gone into the pits, and it's unfortunate. It's happening in the macro. If it's happening in the macro, it will definitely happen in the micro. If your guy is doing it, your fathers are doing it, then what does you expect the children will do?
So you can say that our generation created this problem?
No, I'm not saying that generation created this problem. I mean,
don't you think we should take responsibility for a bit of it? I don't mean you as a person. Don't get worked up.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to take it
off your mic. Cool down. What I'm saying is Zainab is smiling here. You know, she's like, what I'm saying is that our generation also contributed to this. And I think where we had the major fault is that we didn't stand up. Look at the history where we got here. The military came. By the time we went back to politics, those who knew about politics, who were with Awolowo and so on and so forth, they took a bit of a backseat. They were not too sure of these army boys, the way they call them then. So what did we end up having? Army contractors, army boys that were involved with all these soldiers and things here and there. And they now became the leaders, in quotes.
And we didn't want to get involved.
Sorry?
We
thought we were in a safe haven. If we had known, we'd have moved in much earlier to say, no. What also bothers me is, with no apologies at all, I think a society must have an elite. Now, when I talk about the elite, not the elite that we have here now that is full of rich people. No. The middle class. The middle class, the teachers, the reverends, not pastors, not all these pastors.
No.
The reverends, the
middle class of the old days, of our
old days. Yes, the
age.
missionaries. Yes. And they are the ones who would dictate the pace, because they are knowledgeable. The professors, the lawyers, back in the day, the diplomats of those days. Pay homage to Anyike's people, Mr. Martins.
Mr. Martins. You know, my father too was. Let me even at that
time.
My father was a diplomat.
You want to pay homage to him now?
Yeah, my father was a diplomat. Actually, he died 2017. How many years? That's 50 years.
He died 50 years ago.
50 years ago, October 6th. In October.
And you didn't call us to come and eat something.
No.
You know, and one of the things that I know that created a problem, it's difficult to convince me otherwise. When the UPN took over all the missionary schools, they knocked out a whole production factory of elites, not rich.
Right. That's right.
People don't understand. King's College was the cheapest school to go to back in the day. People say school are omolowo ni. No! King's College was the cheapest school.
Was it?
You paid more. Now, be very careful. You know, I have this thing against Igbobians. Left to me, all the Igbobians will be hung from the tree.
That's because you're jealous.
I'm jealous now. I got invited to the interview. Is it my fault that I got 9% in arithmetic? And another person said, because I got 9%, he couldn't take me. He paid me. He said, I want to make money. You know, I got about almost 90 in English and 9%. So I think it was my late mother who said that. Hey, say add the 9% and then do it over the
I
total.
was going to say that.
And that person said no, that this boy doesn't know arithmetic. Anyway, so those I believe that is one of, because you see, I'm not casting aspersions on people. We need to talk reality here.
That's right.
It wiped out a whole culture and a whole, you know. Apparently, I'm sure they did it in good faith.
They thought they were doing it in good faith.
They thought they were doing it in good faith. They said they wanted the rich and the poor, and then wanted to turn the Koi Club polo grounds
into schools.
That was these schools. And I say to myself, I went to school with. Well, let me admit that my parents were not poor, but they were just workers. My dad was a lawyer. My mother was a civil servant. Middle class. But we went to school in the neighborhood. Primary school was free. St. Patrick's, St. Jude's. St. Jude's used to come first in common entrance. Yes. If you wanted, there was a time, but because they had brought me from the UK and I was a bit too old to throw amongst the pigeons in that place, they took me to Corona. If not, especially my dad was contemplating, boy, won't we take this boy to St. Jude's so that they can brush him up in his arithmetic? And then he had the hand, yes. But St. Jude's was free, St. Patrick's was free. St. Mary's was free. They had St. Mary's and then they now had St. Mary's private.
And look at
Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel was free.
Look at the caliber.
Look, listen, I tell people, these kids, some of these kids, I'm sorry to say I'm going to use these kids, but well, excuse me for today. Let me be papa for a change. You need to know that in those days, all you needed to do was pass the exam. I had the greatest influence to go to Igbobi College. Olatubosun said no. Yes.
I'm glad you didn't.
Well, for that you would pay dearly.
No, listen.
Because of what you said, you and Chegbu Agbede.
I believe
you
nature.
Pay dearly for that.
I believe the universe works out things. You know, the way they should work.
The way they should work out.
We're not having friends today.
Maybe because you go to some places I won't go to, but let me leave you.
I know.
We know where the baby boys went in Chobodu. So back to what I'm saying. So we wiped out a whole, because now what we now have is the school for rich children
and the school for
yes.
very poor. There's no mix.
In those days, once you went to St. Jude's, you passed common entrance, you could go to Methodist, and then there were scholarships to take care of all that.
That's right.
In King's College, there were children of cooks and drivers and whatever.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And where are they today?
Yeah,
they're in top.
Yes. So that is the genesis. The military also didn't help it. Then when that man came, I don't want to mention this is fair. When that man now took over, that even made it worse.
The one with the dark goggles of John.
No, not the one with the dark goggles. This one will look you plain in the eye, but dribble you here and there.
Okay.
So that one that was like the final. And sometimes where was God when all this was happening? I don't want to blaspheme.
Please don't.
But I keep asking. It occurs to me, where was God? Because what I would call the kind of destruction of this country, it took a process.
Yeah.
If you sit back and think about it from this one, the elite school that I'm telling you, because it's important, down to now that down to when that one came and spent so many years dribbling everybody left, right, and center. Yes. That was the foundation of the destruction we have today. But what are you saying home for? Before that one came, people were only talking 5%, whatever. Is it not during his time we were hearing that in cabinet meetings, the minister for industries will be complaining, the minister of finance hasn't given him, but they say go and settle him.
Jimmy, I don't want us to. I thought you said this was going to be a light-hearted.
It's light-hearted, yes.
And it's very upsetting when
very
you
upsetting,
think, when you think about.
And since that foundation has been laid, we've not gotten out of it. And then this set of look, we must say now when we talk about these politicians, we're talking in the majority. There are a few exceptions to the rule, though. If you ask me, I can't point out any now.
Not now.
But
I can't think of anybody now.
But they are the one who set us on this path. And unless they change their ways, I am so scared about what this country. When you were downstairs when I was reading the news this morning. You need to see what a paramount ruler in Cross River said.
What did he say?
He said that if we don't change our ways and the ways we do our things, the next that this is what like I always said that this one is a first year low. And that the next one might be more devastating, that we all need to wake up and do the right thing. For example, I would have thought that for symbolic reasons, somebody would have talked to the guys in the National Assembly and they would be saying like, look, let's start by making an ultimate sacrifice. This money that people are grumbling about, why don't we cut it? Ideally, it should be cut by 3/4. When I say 3/4, when I say 3/4, not 3/4 to them and quarter back into the treasury.
No.
It's the other way around.
Other way around. That's right.
Because we work.
It's
now.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It's
Why
ridiculous.
would I be sweating here? Before I used to boast that I wake up at 3:30. I no longer boast. I can't say that anymore now. But look at the amount of work we put in our daily lives and then look at these guys. I mean, look at 35.
I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
Has anybody ever called you to say, Jimmy, what you talk about is true, and we're going to do something about it? Has anybody ever called you to say, we are listening?
No, the kind of calls I get are the following. Those I've gotten calls from. Okay, if you talk about the powers that be in the corridors of power, most of them just think that you are wasting your time. It was the one because they can't understand why you can't join them. I'm sorry to go personal. If there's hardly anything I'd want in this country that I couldn't get if I was so inclined.
It's true.
I could be a billionaire.
If you wanted to.
Yes. Even when I look at some of the Yahoo things, these guys have no brains. If people like you and I, well, I don't know about you, but if people like you went into Yahoo, I'd make a clean sweep.
The way I was brought up, look, the way we were brought up.
I'm talking about if we were so inclined.
Inclined, yes.
We could even, of course. I mean, there's hardly. Look, if we wanted to go rogue, the opportunities are there.
I could have gone rogue.
You're a rogue already.
I could have gone rogue.
I ran a rogue.
But for the fact that, but for the fact of the values that my mother laid, and of course, flaky.
Which flaky? I know so many flaky.
Flaky, my sister. My sister. Your fan, your greatest fan.
Yes, sir.
I grew up in a family in which your name was paramount. Remember where you're coming from. There were things you could not get in. I mean, there were crazy things I did. Crazy things.
All did.
We all did crazy things, but
like the one we did.
that's another story. But I think it's a question of will. It's a question of self-control. It's a question of remembering who you are. Where you're coming from.
Because look at the things we were exposed to. The least of it being that in 1974, I almost had a mad idea to move into that man's house.
Are you serious?
Yes, when it got to his height. It was this thing that restrained. I wanted to move to Fela's house way back then. I was restrained by I said, look, take the best that you can from this. Fela is a wonderful guy. Take the best. We were the lucky guys. We took the best that we could from him. Everybody has his good and bad sides.
Yes.
So we took the best that we could from him. And I'm proud to say that he's one of the few people that influenced my life today as we speak. I pay tribute to him and to the likes of Wole Soyinka and Chief Shobosho and more. These were the people who influenced this part of my life where you stand firm, fight for the people. I'm not an activist, but there's a bit But there's a bit of activism in the work that I do.
What you do on radio.
Zainab, do you want to take your break now? You want me to pay my bill? You still have a minute.
Unfortunately, I met Fela too late in life.
I met him very early.
I met him in the 90s. I was fixed. I was matured then. I was married. But he did have a positive impact.
From 1971, when I was just finished Form 5, when my mom didn't realize what she was doing, took me to watch Fela with Sister Kuti. Way back then, yes.
At Kakadu?
At Kakadu. Before then, I'd been a fan, I'd been a fan of Fela's. All through my growing up, I never liked James Brown, Otis Redding, all these ones. I liked jazz, a tribute to a guy called Franco. He was living with my late uncle then. And then I loved Fela to bits. So when it took me to 71 for anointing, there was no looking. I got to take a break. I got to take a break. When we come back, though, I want you to set your mind to it. I'm going to ask you how difficult it is to be a parent in these current times, given the kind of experience that we had. Then I'll take some calls, okay? So we'll take a short break and then we'll be right back. It's the Daily Digest with Jimi Disu.
Hey, wake up, oh! Another better don't land. For those of now, whenever you use your MTN SIM for over 15 days now, MTN they do win back package. Will be presidential welcome pack of 6 times your recharge when you load 50 naira and above. Yes, oh, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not even 5. Now 6 times your recharge. Them go give you for credit and data. Your eyes don't clear, B. This one means say if you recharge 100 naira, MTN go summon you with 600 naira credit plus free 100 MB data. If you go recharge 200 naira, now 1,200 naira credit go drop for your phone plus free 200 MB data. Just make sure say you use *161* recharge pin hash, take recharge and enjoy your bonus for up to 30 days. Now this time presidential welcome back, I dey like. Make I go find my own MTN SIM, begin enjoy better.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
You can spell miscellaneous.
Of course I can. Is it not MISCAL?
You missed it. See, you just missed winning like what? Like millions.
He is not wrong. Get your spelling right. Turn up the power of words. Get in the MTN MPOL Spelling Bee and stand the chance to win incredible gifts.
Like what?
Like a 2 million naira scholarship grant, plus a laptop, plus a smartphone, plus an MPOL's goodie bag for the first winner. 300,000 naira for the winner's teacher, 10 laptops and 10 4G modems for the winner's school. There are lots of consolation prizes. Visit www.mtnonline.com/MPOLS for more details. It's as simple as spelling bee.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Welcome back. This is Daily Digest with Jimi Disu.
Yeah, welcome back to Daily Digest with Jimi Disu. I still have with me Muiwa Majakotomi. I'm sure most of you remember him of Jazzville fame. And Muiwa, can you hear this? This is Heavy Wind.
Heavy Wind, yes. I haven't seen Heavy Wind in years. In years.
I woke up one night to take it. You know, at our age now, you must wake up at night to take a leak. And then I checked my phone, a bad habit. And there he had sent me something, said, I want you to use this one.
Oh, it's a beautiful piece.
So a beautiful piece.
It's a
So
beautiful
he
piece.
gave me, he did two. He did the bed and did the intro.
Oh, this is beautiful. It's beautiful.
Heavy Wind, in case you're listening, I give you a black
Heavy
pass.
Wind, long time. I hope you will be able to run each other one of these days.
You should.
I hope so.
Well, we need to have at the very least a yearly jazz thingy for matured minds.
Jimmy, that's a
story
story for another day. I beg.
but I'd like you to know out there, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook Live, you can see us, and then you can call in. The number to call is 0700 993 993 993. It's a fun session. This is to relax us for the weekend. Tomorrow, I'm going to have Mrs. Muni Shonibare. Mrs. Muni Shonibare is a mother of grown children. She's in her late 50s, I think. And she is going to look at a mother's perspective of this whole crisis that took place last week from a mother's point. You know, men have a different perspective about this. So from a mother, that inner spirit of a mother, she's going to look at it. And probably she might have one or two things to tell the NSAS organizers. So tomorrow, the discourse at 8 o'clock in this studio, we're going to have Mrs. Muni Shonibare. And talking of Shonibare, now's the time for me to sympathize with my good friend Sigi Shonibare, who I heard lost his sister yesterday. You know Sigi, don't you? Shupo Shonibare. Yes. Sigi, yes. So Sigi, in case you're listening, may her good soul rest in peace. If you're wondering, Muni is Sigi's wife. Yes, that's what it is.
Okay.
So you can join us. I think we have a caller. The line's actually buzzing, you know. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Morning, how are you? Who's calling?
My name is Kayode Mogaji.
APC. Kayode, how are you?
I'm hanging.
You're hanging?
Yeah. I can't say I'm fine.
Okay, since you are not an ordinary caller, so you give us 5 minutes of your time. I'm sure you knew this might happen. Now,
I know.
What I know that I don't know if you are one of the NSAS organizers, but I know that you're a very strong sympathizer. Okay, okay. Now, tell me what's the situation now with the NSAS? I'm not talking about the aftermath now, but with the NSAS, where are we now with the NSAS protesters?
Yeah, Uncle Jimmy, there's something you said all through last week about believing this might have been planned longer than the action. That was not compulsive. It was not something that just happened. I think so I'm going to use that to actually answer your question. Uncle Jimmy, it was actually impulsive, but I guess the problems have been happening for such a long time that when it came, there were ready-made answers. That's where you saw the coordination from. Okay. And I think this, what happened last week was actually, it would have been dumb for the organizers not to have expected this phase. And this is the new phase, yes. It will have been really, really dumb. Then I don't think they will have been any different from the older people that they're actually complaining about if they had not expected this phase. Now, this phase is probably the most important. And this is moving from the streets to the minds of the people. The mind, Uncle Jimmy, the most important part of this is actually, we know there are two things, education and election. The two is. So, education from the public school system, that's where the NSAS situation is going to. The government is purposely dragging on universities actually coming on board now, because they know that might be the next stage. You know, we've had a mixture of the articulate and the streets.
Yes.
So the streets, because of the population due to poverty, actually ended up, it seemed they kind of overwhelmed the articulate. But unfortunately, yes, that's the phase. We have some sort of a vacuum in the elite system, like you actually spoke about. So the poverty took advantage of that. The unfortunate thing is that not to say the position, which you know I know what I'm talking about. I'm a lot of platforms. I'm not hiding. I'm a strength of APC. It's really at large. And the mentality politicians is just that it just happened. Most people think they've learned, but when you go to the political platforms, you see that they don't take it as seriously as people actually think they take. They think it's something that's just come out play away. So that's the unfortunate situation. But
so are you saying that the politicians are still hell-bent in their ways?
They are not changing it. They believe it is. That's why I'm paying attention towards what most of the politicians are actually not paying attention to. Could you honorable tell us from my
yes.
Yeah, from my constituency, and we have, in fact, before he started speaking on the platform, something started trending in Surulere on the political front, because I actually on his silence and he's been reactive. Even Honorable Femi Gbaja and other politicians have been doing. You notice they've only reacted to the issues. They've not been proactive by coming out and saying, okay, like you said, this is what we are going to sacrifice. It's only been about what the people have to sacrifice. It's how in fact, the whole conversation, and now they are also using the media. It's one of these things. Unfortunately, yesterday, Uncle Jimmy, you also kind of, I don't know if I'm going to say highlighted one of the things they are trying to do, and that in the news now, what they've been talking about mostly is those Judas in the NSAS situation. That's what has been highlighted mostly. But it's easy to put any group together. The Student Union, all those people that went to sit down with Sheyi Makinde, were those the guys on the street. Uncle Jimmy.
So are you trying to insinuate that, well, not unexpectedly though, but that they're trying to discredit there's an attempt to discredit the NSAS movement?
Uncle Jimmy, that's exactly. I'm not trying. I am saying that's exactly the next phase. And this, we actually knew this was going to happen a couple of weeks ago. Look at the trend. Uncle Jimmy, we are creatures of habit. Look at the trend. The trend, it will not change. Just try to check the trend from Wednesday last week and see what has been in the news, especially terrestrial media, print, and, mostly print media. It's been more about those that have done the ill during this protest. The main issue the protest was all about, as actually they've tried to push it down. But unfortunately for them, social media, that's where there's one Elliot, I don't know who actually advised them. the
What was it that Desmond Elliot said that people have because I've been off the social media, so I never really. You're just the second person that's mentioning it to me now. That Desmond Elliot gave a speech somewhere, and some people found it offensive. What was it that he said?
Two things, Uncle Jimmy. One has to do with sensitivity, and that's him talking right now about trying to actually chain and cow the social media. Now, we all agree that, yes, there have been too many things in the social media that should not be in the social media. But timing is extremely, Uncle Jimmy, there's something always, the art of communication should be the language of leadership. And now is not the time for him to come and start talking about, yes, we need to stop that. There were too many things. All the children were cursing. Uncle Jimmy, this is in his, I'm quoting him almost verbatim. He said, all the children that were athletic, look at them, children, and what were they doing? They were cursing. People older than them. What's happening to Nigeria? Nigeria is going to disappear in 5 years if we don't stop the social media.
Did he make any reference to the fact that it's the political class that has led us to where we are now? Did he make any reference to that?
Uncle Jimmy, is that a rhetorical question?
No, I'm asking, just answer whether it is rhetorical or it is rhetorical. Just answer the question. Did he make any allusion to
Uncle
the fact?
Jimmy,
Wait,
Uncle
one
Jimmy,
second now.
know.
1 second.
Yeah.
I must, I must sap everything out of it. Did he make any allusion to the fact that it's actually the point he's making? Yes, probably valid. He has a lot of that out in the social media. Yes, but who created the monsters? A lot of the people who actually even did go on demonstrations, a lot of them we hear had been armed by these same politicians.
Uncle Jimmy,
isn't that right?
Uncle Jimmy, Uncle Jimmy, arm might not just be ammunition, but even the poverty was part of the ammunition.
Yeah, but even the arms, even the physical arms, yes. We saw quite a number of guns and axes and cutlasses, those cutlasses that can cut poroko. I'm sure those cutlasses can behead you in one swipe. I wish I had one now to behead you.
Uncle Jimmy, I actually agree with you 100%. See, I think the silence of the elite over time has come back to start haunting everybody now. And, a lot of people, every time I came on your show, would be like, I know you. How can someone like you go and sit with those people? But unfortunately, the decision those people, that we call those people, take will actually affect your Harvard certificate or whatever certificate you have.
But I even wonder, just like you said now, in all honesty, how you've been able to survive in that turbulent party situation. Because I'm sure that most of your politician friends are not happy with you.
Uncle Jimmy, Uncle Jimmy, you know the kind of person. Now, it depends on where you're coming from. What background? Just like you spoke about the schools, the elite schools. Unlike you, I was a little bit fortunate to went to King's College.
Oh, my God. This interview ends here now. All right, quickly round up so we can go, okay?
Okay, so Uncle Jimmy, you cannot take the privilege of your family. And when I say privilege, it's not about money. The kind of background you have actually helps you to stand the stormy waters. And I lead, like I always talked about, I use the analogy of a train. Some people have to come from outside the train to try to stop the train. That's the opposition and the people. But some of us are in the train to actually try to hold the hands of the drivers.
Okay. All right, Kaide, we got to go. Thank you very much, Kaide. All right, you have a nice day. Have a nice weekend.
Have you ever tried to stop a moving train?
No.
Don't you try.
I can't stop a moving toddler. Come today. When my grandson is coming at you better get out of the way. So, how do you react to what he just said?
I think what's in the Makawidi, right?
Yeah,
Makawidi. Very, very articulate.
Young chap.
Very, very articulate, very sharp. He's made very valid points, and I think that people like him should. I'm glad he's doing what he's doing, and people like him should be given a chance to express whatever God has put inside him, to help what we're doing in society.
But in general terms, all what he said, what did you make out of it?
I sense a frustration on his part. There's a lot of frustration. with him, and
Aren't you frustrated?
I am frustrated.
I'm frustrated.
I am frustrated.
I'm fed up.
I'm frustrated. But one thing I've decided to do is, Jimmy, is this. Because we are dealing with and I have to be very careful what we say on radio. We have to be very, very, very careful what I say on radio, because my frustration may come out as things I shouldn't say. But I've decided that there's some things I cannot change. So rather than get upset, I'm going to change. Rather than react, I'm going to respond. Rather than react, reaction could be.
I also have that dilemma where you admit to yourself that, look, all these.
I'm helpless.
Yes, you're helpless. You're helpless.
The only thing I can do to make a change is, in my own immediate environment, make changes to within within Onike Yaba area. What can I do to improve somebody's life? To my neighbor to my left, my neighbor to my right,
You're right.
And then spread the light. There's too much darkness. A lot of people we complain, and all we do is talk, but we don't make any positive changes. What have you done to your next door neighbor? I mean, I see my children playing on the road and they're throwing banana peels and things on the ground. I go to them and say, no, it is wrong. What you do is put it in the bin.
In the bin.
And things like that. So what can I do to make a positive change? What can I do to improve somebody's life? I can't change everybody's life. I can change at least one person.
Yeah.
Make one person's day. I can't satisfy everybody.
But also the situation now also makes you your neighbor's keeper. Because if you don't keep your neighbor today, your neighbor will not keep you tomorrow.
I'll give an example. My next door neighbor, I have a problem with my wall. I've had my wall collapsed some years ago. I went to him. I said, listen, Egbon, I have a little situation. I don't have any money. What can we do about the wall? Guess what? He did it. He did my wall. He not only did the wall, he also plastered my side. He plastered my side inside. What does that tell you?
And also, I also think we need to shut our ears to the rhetoric of the things that divide us: religion,
there's too much division,
race, and so on and so forth.
I tell you a little true story. There's this story about two types of ants: black ants and then red ants. You put them in a jar, they live together. This is somewhere in South America. You put these ants in a jar, they live together. Then shake the jar. Just shake it, and then break the jar. You find that the black ants are fighting with the red ants. Hitherto, they were at peace. So somebody is shaking our jar.
Yeah.
Find out who is shaking our jar. We've had peace.
We have a fair idea of who it is. When you do have this rhetoric coming from, I come from a highly cosmopolitan family, in the sense that half of my family are Muslims. The other half are Catholics.
And there's togetherness.
I come from a
there's
background.
Unity.
Yes, I come from a background where I was born into a Muslim family. I was born into Jamaatul Islamiyah. The chief imam of my mosque way back then when I was a kid was a lawyer to the Catholic Church. My grandfather's house in campus is like a duplex. The ones on the right are Catholics. The ones on the left are staunch Muslims. And they've been together. We all drink from the same well.
Thank you.
In the same compound.
So
that is in idea. So what has happened is, to be honest with you, to call a spade and not a farming implement. This new set of, I still maintain it. If the younger ones don't know, listen to some of us who know. This new set of politicians, they are greedy. And they are
divisive.
And divisive, because if you unite, if you unite, they have a problem. So what do? They keep you on your toes, make you suspicious of the person
of the other party.
I use Surulere as an example. All these things that we want to live do a republic. When the chips were down, it was in Meruas in the neighborhood, and the younger boys of different tribes and whatever, because the young boys in the neighborhood don't get together in Yoruba, Igbo, this, that.
Yes.
It was all of them who put together to defend the rest of us. And that opened my eyes. That opened my eyes. The guys at two ends of our clothes are guys, they sell oranges and this thing. They have a mosque there and so on and so forth. But for them and for the boys in the neighborhood, the whole neighborhood estate would have been raised down.
But look at Unilag too, at days in Unilag.
Nobody knew who came from where.
76 to 70. There was no issue of which tribe are you from? What
This
what language do you
narrative,
speak?
I tell you, I can say this boldly. This narrative is a new thing. We must find a way to get a new set of politicians.
Do you know the new division now? Sorry to interject.
Yes.
You know, it's either PDP, ACP, Republican, Democrats, Christians, Muslims. Now it's now the ones who wear mask. And
that's in America, yes.
Even here.
It's a mask economy.
It's a problem. So
I think that
we are being played.
But also we are being played.
We are being played.
And then look, I've always said that Nigeria is a conspiracy between the politicians, the civil servants, the religious bodies. They also play a large part. They take out your mind and put things that will benefit them. For example, let me give you. There are some things you need to think about. If you go to a church or a mosque and they tell you they want to have a revival at 4 p.m. on a Wednesday, they're telling you more or less not to go to work.
Yes.
How does that sound to you?
Ridiculous.
They're at work.
Ridiculous.
They will collect offering and everything.
Ridiculous.
You understand what
ridiculous.
I'm saying? These are the little things that should let you know that at a time of COVID, whatever now, how many of these religious people stood by their members that you've been collecting tithes for?
6 months now. How many people went to church?
I mean,
6 months.
There was a leading pastor. As soon as COVID broke out, the first thing he did to do was to publish his account that don't come to church, but please remember to credit this.
Let's not mention names. We know who they are.
No, we know.
But that's a story for another day. Religion is another story for another day.
We know what we know.
We know what we know.
Do you know what I know?
I don't know.
But I know what you know.
Says who? This is look.
Let's pick another call.
But Jimmy, we're being played. We're being played.
Hello, morning.
Hello, Mr. Jimmy.
Morning, sir.
Good morning. This is Mr. Osunde.
Yes, sir.
Calling from Journalist Estate.
Yes, sir.
Ogun State. Yeah, it's been a decade since I heard your voice. I've been trying to get across, but it's been so difficult. I'm glad I got across today. I don't know where to.
Oh, sorry, that line cut. I'm so sorry, sir. Can you please try again? I think we have a network problem. Let's try another line, please. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Morning.
Uncle JDW.
Morning.
How are you today, sir?
Fine, thank you. Please go on.
So nice getting you. I just want to commend you very much for this morning newspaper review. You were quite top notch. Please.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And for our leaders, what we have seen is that they are just reactionary. They are not proactive. They are always reactionary. I thank God that the one who raised the issue on the floor, saying the youth are given to drugs and they are this and they are that, fine. If they are just waking up to their responsibilities as in to know how to address the issues of the youth, I encourage them to quickly and fast move, because these youth are not relenting. They have started. And the earlier they move fast, as in to enact the necessary laws and put in place what they have to do for the youth so that they can get them engaged, the better for the country.
Okay, thank you. Well, Muyiwa, your final thoughts, because we have to
2023 is around the corner. Go out and vote. Go out and vote.
Do you think, but with the party structures that we have, wouldn't it be nice if we had independent candidacy?
I agree, because look, there's no difference between PDP and what other
what are they called?
Because it's the cross carpet. So it's not a question of branding. It's a question of it's a mindset.
I mean, look at the bizarre thing that happened in Edo. They swapped seats.
We're not stupid now. I'm not stupid. So it's not about PDP. It's not about APC. It's about the personalities. The person who was in PDP is now in APC. The person in APC is now in APC. So it's just a question of mindset. Just do the right. You know what the right thing is. Do the right thing.
I think what the bottom line really is that a lot of us, more of us, need to get involved in this electoral process. I think the apathy that we've had, leave it to these guys. You leave it to these guys, you have some riffraff determining your
Agreed.
life. And
some of us are not called to be.
Yes, but
some of us.
But yeah,
that is your calling.
You don't need to stand. In various ways, you can contribute. Even
in my neighborhood, yes, making a difference in my neighborhood.
Maybe we got to go. Collins, yeah, Collins will come in. You still have another 5 minutes. Let's take a call. I like to create space for the next person coming in. That's why. Okay. Hello, morning. But Zainab is complaining. Hello, morning.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. Please speak up. We have just about 1 minute, and we are running for time.
Okay. Let me just say this. This is David calling from Yanafaja.
Yes.
The last man that spoke has spoken the mind of the youth.
Yes.
The government needs to take that proactive measure as fast as possible. Huh?
Oh, we lost that again.
Another thing that I must stop is all this godfatherism. Somebody is going to be anointed before he becomes a governor of a state or a leader of a. It has to stop.
Well, it's not going to stop by fiat. It's going to stop by us resisting.
Just say no.
In fact, what we need to do is the moment you get that the Godfather has endorsed that person, it becomes a liability.
Liability.
Yes, I think
exactly
that's what it should be.
As a digression, remember there was a time which country in which they jacked up the fuel prices.
Yes.
We know what the population did. They left their cars on the road. I said they left their cars on the road. Passive resistance. Just say no.
I'm not advocating that we do that here, but also we need to know that hitting the streets is not the only way.
It's not the only way. Yes,
it definitely will be hijacked, and you can see where it has gotten.
Unfortunately,
but
yes.
I look in this studio. I predicted it that when you've done this for 2-3 days, you've made your point. They've agreed 5 for 5. Move to the next level.
You should have sat down to negotiate.
I said that here repeatedly.
Yeah, I heard you say.
Yes,
you should have sat down to negotiate.
And then also, the NSAS, whether they like it or not, they need a leadership. You can't be rudderless. You can't keep saying you don't want a leader because you don't want them compromised. Then you have a problem. Then if amongst you can't get 1 or 2 leaders that you are sure won't be compromised, then you already have a problem.
You have a problem.
You have no business being in existence.
So who does the government talk to? Who do they talk to?
Who do they talk to? Now that things, who do you negotiate with? So it must have a face. Hello, you got a caller?
Okay, yes.
Yeah, hello. Hello? Okay, fine. Let's leave it at that. Hello?
No.
Okay, let me quickly lay down some principles within 1 minute for people to understand. When you're going to call from a quiet background. Switch off the radio set so you don't have feedback and so on and so forth. And then once you come on, realize that you have 1 minute. Realize that this is valuable time. So you need to speak up. You need to just go straight. You can pay compliments. I don't mind all that. But you need to go straight to the point and speak up and speak fast. You understand? It's not a relaxation.
And we only have 2 minutes left.
We have 2 minutes left. Now you're putting me under pressure. Okay, I got to go. Okay. I'll be back here tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday. The discourse is at 8 o'clock. You're going to have a mother's perspective of this NSAS, whatever. We've had a father's perspective. Someone
even wants to know if it's related to Desmond Majekodumi.
Desmond is my cousin, yes.
Is he your cousin?
He is, yes.
But not Majek
all Majekodumis are related, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
You are one of the ugly ones. Thank you very much, Miwa. It's nice having you. So tomorrow at 8 o'clock, we will have the discourse with Mrs. Muni Shonibare. Happy birthday again to Mrs. Neju. Because I'm lobbying for the fried rice and chicken. And you can't eat fried rice and chicken by Zoom. But I think the dispatch people are working now, so that there will be no excuses. So I'll knock it off. Zainab, thank you very much. Philip is back. He went on the great journey yesterday by foot from Cool FM here, by foot all the way to Orile. But he has a new pair of shoes now. I think now he learned, instead of wearing sandals to work, he will come with training shoes. So Philip is back at work. Philip, thank you very much for being here. And that's where we'll knock it off. Zainab, thank you very much. Remember what I told you about alcohol? No. Okay, we'll keep that to ourselves. All right, so I'll be here tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Be nice to your neighbor. Muiwa, let's go downstairs, have a drink, okay?
Thank you for inviting me.
See you. All right, bye.
covering Nigeria 24/7.
Nigeria Center for Disease Control on Thursday reported 790 new cases.
We're going to talk about the new independent political movement that launched yesterday and says it wants to reform the constitution.
Tune in every weekday and weekends for the best radio programming.
But then again, he found something condemnable. I'm talking about how they've been observing the social distancing.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Everybody talks.
When we